Posted by you/alarming_ad_4419. I, 24F, have been with my husband, 28M, for 4 years, married for 2. We have a long history of fights and disrespect from both sides. Here is our most recent problem. About 2 months ago, my husband came home from work, and I started complaining that I can't work full-time and take care of everything else. I work as a nurse, granted from home, and I am also responsible for most of the chores. My husband is supposed to take the garbage out, clean up dog poop, and brush the dogs a few times a week. He takes out the garbage a couple of times a week and cleans up dog poop once a week at best. I take care of dinner, groceries, laundry, the animals, all 6 of them, and am the primary caregiver to his daughter when she is with us, week on/week off. My husband has his own company, which we started together. Anyways, I was complaining, and he was tired of it, so he kicked me out of our house. I was shocked, as it didn't even seem to escalate like that. He called it his house. Days went by, and I ended up coming home. My husband said we both needed individual therapy to heal from our past traumas. I agreed, as I've done therapy before, and I made an appointment for myself a few days later. About 6 days later, we got into a fight because he was mad about my car being dirty. We had just had our 2 German Shepherds in there, and again, I'm the main transport for his 7-year-old daughter, as I take her to and from school. I thought it was ridiculous, and we got into a fight where I was sobbing, and he was reconsidering the relationship. I almost left that day too. 3 to 4 weeks after that, we had another fight, this time about intimacy. I have been struggling with libido, and we agreed to have bedroom intimacy 3 times a week, which I have been doing. He tried to tell me I wasn't fulfilling this promise, though I was. I said, "It's a waste of my effing time then." He was appalled that I said this and hung up on me. A few days later, he wanted to talk about it, but I told him, "I feel like you're mad, and I'm not in the right headspace." He said, "Too bad," and proceeded to tell me that I ruined bedroom intimacy for him, and that he could never have it again with me. I ended up taking accountability for what I said and apologized, but he didn't do the same until much later. I then told him I was going to leave if he didn't go to therapy. I had been going for at least a month at this point. Typically, I wouldn't use an ultimatum, but about a year ago, he gave me one. I was in the worst mental space I had ever been in, and granted, I had been unfair, snappy, and mean to my husband. We got into a fight, and he yelled at me while I was crying, saying that if I didn't get help, he would leave. I got help that day. Well, a month later, he still hadn't gone to therapy, and then he accused me of trying to play the victim and manipulate him. So, I left. I came back after 3 days. He agreed to marriage counseling, and I made the appointment. Since I've been home, we fought every day, and things don't feel right. I'm thinking about leaving him again even though he's agreed to get help. Update 2 months later. Hi Reddit, since the start, he has been insecure about cheating. He was viciously cheated on in his previous relationship and blames it on that. I have never cheated on him, nor has he ever found anything to suggest that I was. I used to be empathetic towards his insecurities, as I have been cheated on too. However, for the past 2 years, I have been losing that empathy. After pulling my phone records and going through all my contacts last summer, he went to therapy for a month or 2, and his episodes of accusing me have decreased, but not stopped. I have been in therapy since January, and he was the one who initially suggested that we both go to individual therapy. However, he has yet to get back into therapy, and he continues to accuse me of cheating. We are also in couples counseling, which hasn't been overly helpful. He keeps saying that he has gotten better with the accusations, so I should just be more patient with him since he is my husband. Our last fight was a few nights ago. We were being intimate, which is also a struggle since I have a low libido, and he said my woman parts tasted like wintergreen Copenhagen. Then, he found/tasted a piece on me and accused me of cheating. This obviously ruined the moment, and he kept asking for an explanation. I told him I didn't have one, except that I had been hiking in the forest earlier that day and maybe had a pine needle on me. He didn't accept this answer and went to bed upset. However, he hasn't brought it up since. When we discussed this in couples therapy, I acknowledged that he didn't escalate the fight or bring it back up, which was an improvement from his past episodes. However, he still accused me during the session, saying I could have been with another man in the forest. Our therapist pointed out that this was a bit far-fetched and mentioned that if I were cheating, I probably would have showered. My husband agreed, but then added that he has learned not to trust people. I am so tired of being accused. It hurts so much, and he doesn't acknowledge the pain it causes. He also hasn't gotten help for his issues and always has excuses for why he hasn't started therapy yet. He's upset with me because I told him I no longer have empathy for him and this issue. I don't know how much more I can handle. Second update 3 weeks later. Hi Reddit, thank you all for your advice and responses. I greatly appreciate and have read each one. Well, here's an update. A few nights ago, he asked me where I had gone. I was confused because I hadn't gone anywhere. He then pointed out that my car was backed into the driveway. I only back in when I have groceries, but now it was pulled in. I told him I didn't go anywhere, but he thought my answers were weird and that I was acting strange. However, he left it alone. Later that night, I initiated hand-holding and cuddling. It was late, and I said I was going to bed and that I loved him. He hesitated to give me goodnight kisses but did it anyway. A few moments later, he went to take a shower. It was 10 p.m., and he has never done that before. I assumed he was taking care of business himself. During this time, I said a prayer and asked, "This feels weird, give me a sign if this is weird." When he got out of the shower, he got back in bed and then tapped me. He proceeded to say he was done and that I am crushing his soul because, according to him, I don't initiate bedroom intimacy and am disrespectful. He also called me selfish. In couples therapy last week, he claimed he only needed me to do it about once a month and could take other things as supplements, essentially. Last week, after I uncovered in therapy that I had been SA'd before, I had bedroom intimacy with him. Despite that, he says that since I've come home, I haven't made any effort to give him what he needs. I'm trying my hardest. Let's not forget that I take care of him, his kid, the animals, the house, literally everything. He wants a gold star because he's helped with dishes more and has been helping with transporting his child to and from school and now to summer camp. During couples counseling today, he said the same things and then accused me of using my newly uncovered trauma as an excuse not to have bedroom intimacy. He even raised his voice at the therapist, accusing them of being biased towards me and not holding me accountable. We kept going around in circles after therapy, and I finally said I'm done, I can't do it anymore. I'm currently packing and crying a lot. I move into my apartment on Monday. I am so crushed, sad, and confused. Godspeed. Thank you, everyone. Third update 3 months 2 weeks later. Hi all, thank you so much for the kind words and support, they've helped me get through this tough time. I'm happy to say that the divorce is now finalized. Here's an update on how the past 3 months have been. When I went back to the house a few months ago to get my cats, I had to leave the dogs. Sadly, he was there. He tried telling me that in 6 months, after therapy, things would change and that I was abandoning my family and responsibilities. He proceeded to call me selfish and accused me of leaving for another man, even though I kept telling him no. Finally, after realizing I was standing my ground, he said he would leave. He looked me in the eyes, his eyes had turned black, something I had seen a few times before, and creepily said, "Goodbye, my name." I called my mom, crying and scared, and then he came back into the house, repeating the same things. He eventually left. He kept trying to contact me and my dad a lot the week after. He is, of course, telling everyone how awful I am, claiming that I'm a cheater and that I abandoned him and his kid. Oh well. I also forgot to mention that once, he pushed me up against the bathroom vanity by my neck and then choke-slammed me after I fought back. I always blamed myself because booze was involved, and he tried telling me the next morning that he acted in self-defense because I attacked him first. He even took pictures of his scratches in case I called the cops, but I didn't take pictures of my bruises. There were also 3 times throughout the years when he would restrain both of my wrists and not let me move if I tried to get some space during an argument. I never realized or considered this to be abuse, and I know how much worse it could have been. Recently, he texted me, saying he saw my profile picture and accused me of being with another man just days after leaving him. He said I was in another man's pickup truck, but it was literally his truck and a picture I had taken after getting my hair done for wedding photos. I had actually sent him that same photo 2 years ago when I first took it. Thank you all, I'm doing very well. I still struggle with guilt and trusting my own reality on some days, but it's getting better. Thank you, I am free. Commenter. I'm confused about the black eyes part, WTF was that? Did his eyes just completely turn black? Why is nobody asking about it? Ops response. His pupils completely dilated, and since his eyes are green, it was really noticeable, and in the moment, it felt like his eyes had turned completely black.